Hello and welcome to your IBM update for October 2025. This month, with the Waston X coding assistant for I being no more, we explore its replacement, Project Bob. But what exactly is Project Bob and what does this mean for the IBM community? Stay tuned as we ask this very question within the IBM update, your monthly digest into what's been happening within the IBM community, sponsored by Proximity. For a few months now, the IBM update has been reporting quite excitedly on the upcoming Waston X coding assistant for IBM I, or WCA for I. But in quite the pivot for Big Blue, this month IBM announced that WCA for I is no more and they're repositioning its AI tooling bets around a broader platform called Project Bob. Project Bob widens the scope and promises more functionality, but also introduces uncertainty. So let's dig into what's changing, what could go wrong, and why Merlin just got the axe in favour of Bob. First, a quick recap. The Waston Xcode assistant for I was a more narrowly scoped AI assistant aiming to bring code explanation with future RPG generation and testing too. It had been in a limited preview and IBM acknowledged that only the code understanding and explanation part was really delivered to preview customers. The full set of features hadn't yet matured. IBM's rationale is that Bob supersedes WCA for I's functionality, but in a more capable cross-platform form. Project Bob converges both the WCA for I's RPG and System Z's code assistant for COBOL that primarily was there to help COBOL shops port their applications to Java on the mainframe. So rather than maintaining a separate tool for I and System Z, the effort is consolidated under Bob's umbrella. This is a sensible approach for IBM, a business that is under pressure from its shareholders, but what does this mean for all the efforts achieved to date on the Waston X coding assistant for I? Well, the good news is that the WCA for I isn't being discarded altogether. Some of its learnings, architectural work, and code training assets may be absorbed into the Bob's ecosystem. But primarily, it seems that the architecture will be based around Anthropic's Claude Sonnet. That's the LLM that was underpinning System Z coding assistant, while WCA for I was using IBM's Granite. How these two will reconcile the model remains to be seen, but even beyond that, the convergence into one unified Bobby assistant has its challenges. For example, the main objectives behind each assistant differ. While the Code X code assistant for I was, well, just that, a generative code assistant, the tool for Z was geared more towards converting COBOL to Java. So while one unified tool across the platforms makes sense from a business perspective, you can see that putting these two together isn't going to be solved by stitching the two garments together. No, threads will need to be unpicked, remeasured, recut, and tailored to make the metaphoric coding clothing wearable and usable, and of course durable too. Now, Project Bob was introduced to the masses earlier in October at Tech Exchange 2025 in Orlando. Here, Neil Sunderson, General Manager of Automation and AI, and I do hope I pronounced his name right, provided a real-time demonstration of Bob.
So I've got this little project over here, and I'm going to try and ask Bob to help me modernize. So Bob runs a whole series of checks before he tells me whether it can be modernized or not. It runs a whole bunch of recipes, etc. So I'm going to start here, and then first Bob is going to analyze my Java project and tell me if it's capable of modernizing it. This is what we call agentic upgrade here, which basically is running our models under the cover to look for new opportunities, to look at if the code is, we can migrate to what are the different properties in the code, but also to migrate and modernize it to Java 21. Human beings, when they write programs, they should think about in their natural language, whether it's English, whether it's Tamil, the Tring product. It can look for both functional and non-functional bugs as you run your systems, whether it's vulnerability, whether it's scalability, whether it is just functional bugs like in your runtime scripts. And there's an Instana beacon running in my web system. It's going to go look through the JavaScript code and it's going to see if there are any issues. And let's see what it comes back with as it does that. Looks like it's reading the files and it's trying to see what's going on here. Oh, looks like it found something interesting. It found a root cause and it's going to try and suggest some fixes as well. I'm going to ask Bob to fix. Bob, please fix the code. Let's see what Bob does. Okay, it seems to have done something. Let me go look at the code to make sure that it did the right thing. Looks like it removed that parameter check. So I'm going to go back to my website and see if I can publish it. Okay, so let me publish this article. Ta-da, the article got published. Thank you, Bob.
It was intuitive to use, so much so that even I could have made the changes, and that's saying something, and then also demoed what was the ability to lift Java 8 to Java 17, do Java framework migrations. Again, all very impressive stuff. There wasn't much reported on regarding the RPG to COBOL or COBOL at the event, but post-event, IT Jungle reported more on what the IBMI community is to expect from the initial release of the product. And its functionality exceeds that was originally scoped for the Watson Code Assistant for I. Now you'll remember that these were limited to 3 core functions: AI-powered code explanation, code generation, and test case generation 2. And out of these 3 functions, only code explanation have been delivered as a preview. Now, contrast that with Project Bob. First, code understanding will be explained beyond RPG, with CL, DDS, and SQL included. It'll explain code graphically with diagrams and drills into functionality. You'll be able to refactor code and create reusable procedures. The generative ability remains, but will be expanded outside RPG. Speaking of RPG, you'll have the ability to uplift old RPG 2 and 3 to modern ILE, plus convert embedded SQL. And on testing, you'll be able to test down to individual isolated components. So a big boost to functionality over its predecessor. However, with the additional functionality and convergence of existing tools, this is going to take some time. And so, while some were looking forward to the WCA for I in the immediate future, all clocks have been reset and there are currently no timelines for delivery. Should you wish to join the limited customer preview, then there is a waiting list, and this can be found at the Project Bob page on the IBMI website. A link can be included below. So, super exciting times are ahead. We'll have to wait a little longer, but as things progress, of course, IBMI Update will surely keep you in the loop. The IBMI Marketplace survey is open, but not for too much longer. So this is a quick reminder to complete the survey. You can do this using the link below. It'll take less than the time for a tea break to complete, and your input will help gauge the state of the platform and help guide the direction for development and the future of the platform too. So I would warmly encourage you to grab a bourbon or digestive biscuits, click the link and complete the questionnaire. Again, the link is below. And that's it for this edition of the IBM I Update. For more like this and for previous episodes, please see our blog on the Proximity website. And of course, on LinkedIn too. But for now, I'm Andrew Nicholson, we're Proximity, the IBM I partners that are in your corner. We'll see you next time. Goodbye.